Okay, so we'll start with the unit 2. We have already discussed in our last lecture what is imperative and declarative programming paradigm. Now today we're going to explore the imperative one, and within imperative one the object oriented programming paradigm. So we have already seen this in the last lecture, the books and all that we need to refer. I think this slide also we have covered, and this is what we have to start today's lecture with. That is, what is object oriented programming. So till now we know the word object oriented programming. Today we will see what is object oriented programming. So object oriented programming is a programming paradigm that is used to design computer applications and different programs. Object oriented is a type, or you can say it is a category of programming, and there are some specification, there are some features which are there in object oriented programming. And now in this unit we are going to explore those features of object oriented programming. Okay, so what are these features that we are talking about? These features are classes, objects, constructor and destructor, inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism and encapsulation. So these are some of the terminologies that we are going to talk in detail one by one for this particular unit, and all these terminologies you'll come across in your Java lab as well, and overloading as well. So what is the main concept, the main fundamental rule of object oriented programming? The main fundamental rule says you have to group, or you have to club data and operations in one pack. That is, in data is your information, you can say the variables, the information about things, and operations are nothing but your functions. So what you're doing, you're putting your variables and functions together in one pack, and you're grouping them together, you're keeping them close to each other. So this, you can see, this is the account thing. So what are the things that are associated with account? Money. First of all, what is going to be the entity that is going to be associated with the account? That is money. Next is, what are the functions that we can operate on account? Withdraw, deposit, transfer. So these are the things that are associated with account. So we are going to put them together in one box, you can say. So we are going to put functions as well as the entity, or you can say the variable, the information together, and that is on what our object oriented programming concept relies. Now when we are talking about object oriented programming, we have talked about many words, but what are the most important things or terms that we are going to hear when we are talking about object oriented programming? So the object oriented programming features, first is polymorphism, the second one is inheritance, the third one is abstraction, and the fourth and the last one is encapsulation. So these are the four main things that we are going to emphasize upon, and we are going to talk in detail about each one of them. And these are all the features, and the master of all the features, or you can say the main hero, the superhero of this object oriented programming system is your objects and classes. So it's only because of this superhero that all this polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation, all these things are possible. So the main thing in our whole story is our objects and classes. Now we will see why do we need to learn object oriented programming. What is so special about object oriented programming that we are going to learn so many new concepts? First thing is reusability. There's a concept called as inheritance which enables reusability of code. You're writing the code one, you're writing the function one, you can reuse that function multiple times. You don't have to write the function for the same thing again and again. Next is security. Your data is more secure and safe in object oriented programming system. Polymorphism. Polymorphism is when like depending upon the situation, your methods will behave in different ways. You're writing a method, now you may want your method to behave in different way depending upon the input. So that is something that is covered under polymorphism. Modularity for easier troubleshooting. As you're dividing your big program into small chunks, so that makes your troubleshooting easier, because you know which module is having the problem. You'll just go to that module, you'll fix the problem, maybe you'll add the features, you might subtract the features, and all these advantages are because of objects, classes, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, data binding, message passing. So all this is what we need to learn, and because of all this we are going to get all the advantages of object oriented programming. Now, as I've already told you, the most important thing about object oriented programming is object. The name itself says object oriented. Matlab everything focuses upon the existence of objects. So what are objects? When we are talking in our simple language or general communication, when we talk about an object, what does that exactly means? It means something that exists, maybe that you can touch, you can feel, you can talk about. That is your object. Fine. So when we are talking about objects in general language, generally when we talk about objects, we refer things like man, John. So John, you can say, is an object. Next is a house. You can say a duplex house. Duplex house is an object. BMW car is an object. So everything around us, this pen, paper, laptop, maybe your headphone, your earphone, anything, your charger, everything is an object, and everything has some special features. For your laptop charger, you can say it has a color, it will have weight, and the power supply, how much it is providing, the battery if it is there in it. So all these are features of the object. So each thing could be said as an object, and every object will be having some characteristics or specification, or you can say information related to that particular object. Now when we'll talk about the proper formal definition language, we'll say an object is a combination of data and procedures working on this available data. So object consists of data, or you can say information about the object. Like for your charger, you can say it is a white color charger, it is having a weight of 200 grams. And procedure means what are functionalities it is going to provide. It is going to charge your laptop, so that is the functionality. So like I'm telling you that methods, procedures, these functions, these all means the same thing. So in future also, if somebody is saying method or saying procedures or functions, you just understand these all are the synonyms. So depending upon the language, depending upon the paradigm, we might use some other words for the same thing, but they all are synonyms to each other. Yeah. So what is an object? Object consists of information and the procedures or methods associated with that particular information. An object has a state and a behavior. What is state of the object? The state of the object is object is stored in fields, that is variables. So information about the object, the variables associated with the object tells about the state of the object. While what is the behavior? Behavior is the functionality, or you can say methods, which are associated with that particular object. So each object has its state and its behavior. States are the variable associated with the objects, like the white color, 200 grams for the laptop charger, and behavior is the functionality, that is it is going to charge the laptop. So objects are created from templates, which are called as classes. So objects exist, but the existence of object is possible due to classes. So classes, you can say, are the main parents, and those classes are giving a particular functionality or particular framework, and through that framework these objects are created. So you can say the class is man and object of that class is John. So man class will be having multiple objects, all like John. After that you can say Bhavin, Parab, Ronet, all these are objects of the class men. So when we'll define object, we'll say objects have variables associated with it and objects have functions, and these variables and functions are put together in something which is called as your objects. Now, what are variables? When we'll talk in formal language, we'll say variables defines the state of object and functions defines the behavior of object. So just these two things sum up your objects. So this provide all the information that you need to know about an object. Now the next thing is classes. What are classes? We know objects and classes are very much associated to each other, but what exactly is classes? So you can say a class is a user defined blueprint or prototype from which objects are created, as we have discussed earlier, and it represents the set of properties or methods that are going to be common for all the objects of one type. So whether we are talking about Bhavin, whether we are talking about Ronit, or we are talking about Parab, there are going to be some properties which are going to be for each of the object of class men. All of them will be having some height, they will be having some weight, they know how to walk, they know how to talk. So these are the functionalities which are going to be common for all the objects of class men. Next is, a class is said to be a template for defining object. So in class, guys, is my screen not visible?